What movie is the best reflection of realistic Wing Chun? And then also, what movie out there is just painful as a seafood for you to watch?
Yeah, well, very much like Quentin Tarantino, I can disassociate myself with movies, especially now. You know, we all have all these Yip Man movies, right? Um, wow, realistic. I mean, Wing Chun is a very difficult style to choreograph because it's very short, it's very fast, and it repeats a lot. Because practical fighting, you often have a lot of repetitive movements for the sake of overwhelming or swarming your opponent. And repetitive movements don't necessarily look good in movies because you want to see variety, level changes, big movements, short movements, and that's what looks good on camera. And practical fighting is short, it's kind of ugly. So even when they choreograph Wing Chun to a high level, they still need to make some concessions to make it more visually exciting. I really like uh, the old movie Prodigal Son, which was from 1981. It's an old Sammo Hung film. It's about Wing Chun. They take a lot of creative license with Wing Chun. They make it a little kind of fancier at the end, and there's definitely the end fight scene. Some people complain it's not the cleanest looking Wing Chun, but it's super raw, and there's just like this kind of emotional intensity when Yun Bu fights in the final fight scene because his Sifu had been killed, and he has to fight the guy who he thinks killed his Sifu, and he just fights with this raw intensity. And for me, the intensity is more Wing Chun than whether in the Yip Man movies they had a better variation of Bong Sao Tan Sao in there or something like that. It's like, no, for me, Wing Chun is not about the physical shapes of the movements. Wing Chun is about the heart. In Wing Chun, we say Kun Yao Sam Fat, which means fist comes from the heart. But that's not for the beginner. We say that because you punch from the middle of your chest, from the center. So we say your fist comes from the center, from the heart. But that's only a lesson for the beginner. For the advanced practitioner, it means that when you fight, you have to fight with your heart,
Mm,
because if your heart is not behind it, you will never win. But it also means that if your heart is not behind it, maybe you shouldn't fight. So
mm.
it becomes the litmus test, right? And then you start approaching everything like that. And so the feeling comes from here, right? So for me, when I see really good looking Wing Chun on the screen, it has to have the heart. The cringiest Wing Chun movie for me, some people might say it's Michelle Yeoh's Wing Chun because she uses almost no Wing Chun in there. I can excuse it. It's from the mid '90s. All those were all wire fu films. Yip Man 4. I unfortunately have to say because I know people who are in that film. Um, I watched it in the theater like this, like with my hand above, and because obviously on Yip Man's story it takes creative license, but I don't know. I just felt it was just kind of over the top in a way that it was time for the franchise to die.